Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next session of From Nothing, Lorna's story. Now we pick up. It's pretty early in the evening, um, but you're running.
Yeah.
You're making a dash through the streets of Augur City. Uh, First and foremost, before anything else, I need to know how big of an impact your group is making on the town as you run. So please, I need stealth checks.
At the very least, we rolled not super well to get away from the guards, but they rolled really poorly to get to us.
Yes, it's true.
Right,
But
but still,
now
okay.
you are running in the city. Uh, Please, if you don't
I'm pretty
mind.
sure Anscombe has a cloak of elven kind that he
He
took
does.
from me. So it's just me who's going to be a detriment. God damn it, I rolled with my BTT, or D&D Beyond, when I just said I was going to use real dice. I
Well,
rolled a
you were pretty
21,
good.
though. I'll take
Uh,
it.
your party rolled two natural 20s. Um, there
Oh.
is no concern. As soon as you break line of sight, as soon as your group gets out of the immediate line of the guards, you take a right turn through an alley, and then you all have the wherewithal to collect yourselves, take a deep breath, and then just move as normal, as though you did not just have a lethal encounter. And as you do, guards go running down the street past your alley. No one gives you a second look. You've dodged pursuit,
Fantastic.
which means that we can, with that taken care of, we can just go to Augur City's typical appearance. You have the evening to you. What do you do?
Well, I think getting off the street's probably in our best interest, so we're going to go back to Cabby's.
Okay. You go to Cavi's bar.
Although on the way there, I think Lorna would speak mostly to Skolna, but everyone can hear her when she says, "Okay, so she knows where we are in Augur City and knew we were at the Arcanium. Do you think it's a bad idea to stay at Cabby's tonight?"
Uh, Nore speaks up. We were followed, it looks like. Um, there's no way to know if she knew that or if that courier was just heading this way on word of mouth. Courier. And she does the
Yeah.
quotations in the air.
No, he had a delivery.
Right.
It was a
Might have.
crossbow bolt he shot into my face.
How? Hmm. And she looks at you and she casts Cure Wounds.
Thanks. I'm still hurting. It was pretty dire for
How
me for
down?
a
How
minute.
down are you?
She's 19 out of 45.
When she sees that doesn't do a whole lot, she's like, "All right, another," and then she casts it again. So the first one heals you for 11, and the second one heals you for. I can't do math. Brain. What's 8 plus 4? 12. Jesus. You heal for
So
12.
23.
Yeah.
Basically back to full. Thank you.
You think nothing of it. It also, if they happen to find us with holes in our face, they might assume we were part of it.
Right. Oh, and Lorna will Presty any traces of the scuffle off of, blood, dirt, what have you.
It might be wise to see if anyone at Cavi's saw that individual looking for you.
That's a good idea. Ask him if anyone was asking around.
She nods.
Yeah, all right, we'll do that as soon as we get there.
If we need to stay somewhere else tonight, well, there's plenty of taverns here.
Right.
So, you make your way toward Cavi's bar after you get patched up. Let me look at your group. I don't think anybody else was quite as hurt as you.
No, well, they focused me because I was the job, me and Lilith. So
Yeah,
if anyone, it'd probably be Lilith.
you were the target. But let's look. No,
Did it
Lilith is
seem?
okay.
I'm going to assume by the amount of damage Lorna took, that they were probably shooting to kill. But did it seem like they were pulling punches, or did it seem like if I died, that would be a perfectly fine outcome as well?
Uh, Roll an investigation check.
Okay. Where's my investigation? Okay.
Because Nori took a hit, but nothing like you did.
26.
It was lethal. They were trying to kill you.
Yeah, so this wasn't a take prisoners
No.
attempt. They
The
were
damage that
fully
you
happy to dispatch me.
the damage that you took was mostly poison, and it was dangerous poison. Um, you are confident they were trying to end your life.
Cool. So Lorna kind of catalogs this for future reference in facing assassins sent by the master, that there's no reasoning with them, or, lethal forces authorized
Yeah,
in protecting.
there might be paying off for reasoning with an assassin.
Yes,
However, they're out to kill you.
they're not pulling punches. Yeah, gotcha.
It doesn't take you long. You know the way around Augur City well enough, and frankly, Tavi's Tavi's Cavi's Tavern. Yeah, Tavi's Cavern is not actually very far from the Arcanium. As you enter, it's busy. Cavi is appearing like a human behind the bar, and he looks up as you all enter. Hey, it looks like you all got back safe. Why do you look injured?
I thought we patched most of it up. I
uh,
have a question for you, Cavendish, if you have a moment.
I have all the time in the world for a customer. What can I do for you?
She'll approach the bar so it's not like they're talking broadly across a room, and lean forward.
He like slides a frosted glass of water to you.
Thanks.
You want something harder? I just assumed.
No, this is probably good considering the experience we just had, and that's kind of what I want to talk to you about.
Great. That sounds like bad news.
No, just really for us. I know you are relatively known for your discreetness here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't assume that if someone came asking about us or me, that you would tell them anything.
Oh, someone did.
Oh. Would you mind sharing some details about that?
Leather coat, tall black hat. Said they had a package for a Miss Halloweth. I told him,
Mm-hmm.
well, I didn't tell him anything, really. I said if he wanted a room, he could purchase one.
Did he?
No.
Ah. Well, he wouldn't be using it anyways.
He asked me if I'd seen someone who looked about your description. And I
How did
said,
you describe me?
well, a ravishing, coffee-skinned, bronze-haired woman with a missing hand. And I said, well, I would not miss that if I'd seen it. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. But you hadn't seen me, right?
See, the thing is, when people come looking, you can't give them a yes or a no. Because they can read into that. There's magic that lets deceptions be obvious to them. So, by not giving him a real answer, he didn't get anything out of me.
Right.
It's a Fey trick.
Then he found us some other way. Interesting. Can I just insight, first and foremost, to see if he was lying about calling me ravishing? And second,
Go ahead and
that's
roll
what
an
I care
insight
about
check.
more in this moment. That's all that I care about more. 22.
It's clear he was trying to
He was
flatter you just
embellishing.
now.
Okay. It
But
worked.
he was mostly telling the truth, just exaggerating. But he also was telling the truth that he didn't give any slip about you.
Right. Yeah, so it was something that had him find us at the Arcanium. Well, we're going to be here for a few more days.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait. You said before it was just going to be like a night.
Things changed.
Okay, do you want...
And
Would you like to upgrade to a better set of rooms than the basic ones?
that might be a good idea. The question is, and I mean, it is your business, so you might not be a little biased, but do you think it'd be wise to find a new place to stay?
Well, I have protections here.
I'm sold. That's all I needed
Uh,
to hear.
it was expensive, but every room above the basic grade has a sanctum cast upon it. So,
That's yes, I would love an upgrade.
okay, I have a party room, and I have 3 doubles that are protected. The party room has 8 beds. Um,
And then it's 3 doubles, so 6 total. That's my whole party. So
if
I
you'd like
think
to take all the doubles, I do need a bit more gold for the protections, but
I understand. Sure.
all right.
Why not?
They're 5 gold a
Live,
night.
stay comfortably.
So if you're
5
taking all 3, that's 15 gold a night per night.
times 4.
So 60
60
gold.
gold.
But that comes with the
Shoot.
protections of Sanctum, and
Hmm.
he slides a little paper like over the desk towards you, and it's like laminated. It's clear. It's like had coffee spilled on it at one point. But it describes that each room is protected from scrying, divination, teleportation, planar intrusion.
That's an investment.
Mm-hmm.
Worth it. She will look at her party though and say, "Oh, 60 is a lot of gold."
Everyone kind of speaks up. We can we can party up for our own rooms, can't we? And
Right.
Tier looks at the party and says, "Who's rooming with me?" And Lilith kind of glances at him and just like shakes her head. But Nori says, "It's fine. You and I."
So I'm assuming Lorna and Anscombe, uh, Tier
Tier
and
and
Nore?
Nori, and then Lilith and Skolna.
Okay. The tiefling. Oh, is Lilith and Skolna a good idea?
You look over as Lilith makes that decision, and Skolna like looks at Lilith, and you see Lilith like second guess something, and Skolna just says, "I got it.
Oh, well, she'll pay for it.
Let me keep an eye on her."
Yep.
You see Lilith looks like she's immediately regretting the decision.
Yeah, I was just
Uh,
thinking the same
but
thing.
Skolna does slide a platinum and 5 gold.
Lorna briefly recalls Skolna saying to Lilith, "Your spine is mine," and that should be fun.
Something like that, yeah. The rooms are paid for. Uh, you are only out 15 gold. Though
Great.
Anscombe does speak up and says, "I can help if you need. I got some coin.
Okay, 7.5.
Just 7." And he puts down 8 gold on the counter.
Okay,
Uh,
great.
Cavi begins pulling all this off and he says, "Right. Each of you have your own rooms, but I only have one key for each room, and it's important that I know who has the key, as they're the one who controls the sanctum. So, which is which?" And
Lorna will raise her hand.
before Lilith can say anything, Skolna just goes, "Me."
Yeah.
Uh,
What I wouldn't give to be a fly on the wall for that room, but that room is literally protected against such things.
mhm. Literally is. Uh, Tier and Nori kind of look at each other, and Tier shrugs, and Nori says, "I'll take it." So, those are the controllers of the sanctum, basically.
Lorna, Nore, Skolna.
Yep. You are handed a key with a number on it, and the key is a handsome key. It is made of not gold, but it looks like steel with like a brass embellishment around the head. It's very shiny, and you immediately get the impression there is magic about the key.
Makes sense.
Um, Unfortunately, because they are the protected rooms, I can't do some of the typical services. If you want food, I can still bring that up, but I can't do the alarm wake ups and such. So, you know,
I'm sure we'll manage. I
just
too appreciate it, though.
just letting you know, each room has private baths and plumbing. I hope you enjoy the higher end of cavies.
I'm sure we will.
And he
And
pours himself a glass of water.
she'll look to the group and say, I feel like we need to touch base after that. Do you want to do down here for drinks, or do you think upstairs in one of the rooms is a good idea?"
They are protected.
There it is. Can we get drinks and take them up?
If you make a mess, tell me.
I have Presty.
Oh, good. Please use
Will be
it.
the best guests you've ever had. Lorna will spring for the drinks as long as nobody goes crazy.
uh,
She's looking at
Everyone
Tier.
basically. Tierla looks back and is like, "What? I'm not an alcoholic.
Just pace yourself. You don't need the expensive stuff.
I'd like an ale. We've had a long
Fantastic.
day. I just want some refreshment, all right? We've spent a lot of time looking at books. I just want
And
some
getting
clear
stabbed.
air. You didn't say... Shut the
He
fuck up.
knows.
Yeah,
Ah,
we're not in a safe room right now.
ale, please. Just a
I...
pitcher
I'd like wine. Can we get a bottle of wine?
and wine.
And Kevy's like... He pulls out like a covered pitcher of ale that's frosted up the side, and he sets it out, and he says, red or white? Do you have a
Defer
preference?
to Norre.
Nor a, red. Red sounds good. All right. And he sets that up. You are out, 12 silver.
That's fine.
8 silver for the wine, 4 silver for the pitcher of ale.
Oh, wait.
You are handed mugs and glasses and the drinks, which are all carried up by your group. And so the protected rooms are like on the next floor above.
Mhm.
And you see on the key, it like on one side it has a single number, and then on the other side it just says 3rd floor. So you kind of piece together where your room is based on that alone. And Cavy's bar, it doesn't look this tall from the outside, but I guess it's a feature of the design of the building that the steepled roof kind of hides. You go up the stairs to the 2nd floor, which is like a banded ring of balcony that looks over the center. And then at the end of that ring is another staircase that leads up to the 3rd floor. As you and your party climbs it, it almost gets quieter within Cavy's bar. You don't hear quite as much of the chatter that goes on down on the main 1st level. And then you see that along the bordered room, you see there is a door that's just marked baths, and then next door is 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. You notice that the 4th room, that's the last door, and you assume that must be the party room, which is much
Oh,
bigger.
yeah. Yeah.
So, as you... I'm sorry, one moment. You enter one of the rooms. Do you care which one?
Lorna's
Okay,
the one
so
that
that's
her
one.
key lets them into.
As soon as you open the door, you see a gold and white swirling mist right in front of you.
I'm assuming that's the sanctum.
Do you know how this works?
No. And she'll step through it.
It's a weird feeling. It's almost as though it's like you've torn your way through thin paper. But then you're in the room. And it smells clean and fresh with cool air passing through the room towards you. There is a window in the room, but the window just shows more of that same white gold film. It does allow light in, though, so it's easy to see in here. The room has 2 very nice 4-post beds, one across from the other. And then furnishings throughout the room look like there's like a couch with a table in front of it and then a fireplace next to that. Everyone kind of follows you into the room, and there's the general appreciativeness of a higher quality room than the basically linen beds that were on the previous floor. This room has a bathroom. Look at that. And he like opens a side little door.
That's my bathroom.
All
You
right.
have your own room.
You're right, I do. I just, I haven't seen one of these since Lola Mary gone. I was surprised.
I do miss it. So, That just happened.
How does it feel to be a wanted? Wanted? That's not, you're not
I
wanted.
I
To
mean,
have a
I've always
bounty
been
on your head.
wanted.
Oh, if I could trip you. I'm
Um,
Glory's leader.
that was the second assassination attempt I've ever experienced.
Lilith just kind of glumly sits on the couch.
But we pulled through. We caught it before they could surprise us, which is great. We're going to have to obviously continue to be vigilant because obviously,
They're gonna get more dangerous, you know.
I imagine, as she gauges our skill level and our ability to handle
Right, like
what
that
she throws at
failed,
us.
so she's gonna spend more money on the next that come.
Do you think there's a chance that she'll just be like, "Ugh, this isn't worth the expense," and then just let us go?
Does she seem not
No,
petty enough or
no.
not vindictive enough to give up?
Do you think she'd ever do it herself
Maybe.
if we got frustrating enough?
Or too expensive.
That's true.
It's all about money when it comes to these places. And Lilith speaks up and says, "You're not wrong about that. I
Yeah, you
actually,
did some research. Can you please share some?
yeah, I want to talk to all of you, actually. This woman that we've gotten on the wrong side of, she's a leader, she's the leader of an organization called The Road. Named such so that it can be hard to find by officials. It's always been called The Road. It's... The long story short, they smuggle arms in and out of Ceres. They have an inside connection, or two, or three, or many, I don't know, within the ANA. You know, guys know the engineering company that supplies the Ceresian army? Yeah, so they have military grade weapons and stuff on their side, and personnel. So the road has access to some literally big guns and big money that comes with it. From what I read, the road has been part of conflicts all over the world. From basically small militia conflicts throughout Terracona to basically a surrogate war in Malachor, or not Malachor, in Nasvidania on the south side. They spend a lot of money, and they make a lot of money doing it, apparently. I'm a little scared of this. I don't know how big a deal they actually are. Like, I know they're not the Copper Mask. But the last big criminal organization in Ceres, the Slip, y'all heard of them? They're just gone. And no one's sure what happened to them.
That wasn't the master, right?
I don't know. No one knows. One day, the Slip's leadership just disappeared. All of them. So, I mean, there are still some pocket criminal organizations that say they go by the Slip, but they're dregs. They're disappearing. Yeah. They're getting squashed by the road. So, I feel like there was a power vacuum, and our old friend the Master wanted to fill it up as fast as possible. So, she's got friends, and they're all over the place over there.
That's good information. I learned a little bit about the arms smuggling when I was doing my own research, but I was actually looking into her specifically. And I learned a thing or two, which may be useful. I learned what her real name is.
That helps. Yeah, what did you learn?
Hale Turnworth.
Hale Turnworth?
Yeah, daughter of Martin Turnworth, a former Copper Mask guild master, master of coin in Shona.
What a normal ass fucking name.
I know. I know she didn't really know what her father was up to as a child. I'm sure she's well aware now, but it seems like he sheltered her from that or didn't include her in the family business, at least not right away. He was a human, and she just kind of glances at Lilith. The thought of like human father, tiefling daughter, shitty parent, like the similarity there is hard not to note, but she doesn't say anything. She doesn't comment on it.
Lilith just quirks an eyebrow and like is waiting for you to continue.
Um, he was assassinated when he was 52. Apparently, he was an absolute piece of shit. Just, any slight against him was met with like 10 times the cruelty. I
Right.
guess to encourage people not to do it again, which, I see where she gets it from.
Yeah, the
And
apple
she
doesn't
changed her
far.
name. Yeah, she changed her name to North Air. I don't know why, and she's in Ceres now, or at least spends a lot of her time there.
Probably to get away from that reputation.
True. We are going to Shona, coincidentally. We could probably see if we can dig up more of her past. Maybe there's something there we can exploit.
Skolna speaks up. She says, Maxwell told me of some contacts in Shona.
Copper Mask?
She nods. Might be
That'd be
some
the best
people.
kind.
Might be the best people to talk to about someone they didn't like.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they liked Martin Turnworth or not. He seemed like a real heel, but he worked for or with them, so I don't know what their loyalties are. But he's dead now. Maybe they were responsible for it.
Copper
Maybe they'll know who
Mask.
was.
Copper Mask can't hurt Copper Mask. So
Right.
they might
Not
have.
officially.
Exactly. It's a rule. So if they hated him enough to kill him, there's likely a lot of still bad blood.
Right, and if we're like, fuck that family, they might be more keen to help us.
Especially if it's profitable.
And it would be. The Master down, huge as Lilith said at a power vacuum in Ceres.
Skolna nods. She reaches into her pocket. She pulls out a small slip of parchment. It's folded up, but she opens it up and she says, Coinmaster Thompson.
That's the contact in Shona.
She nods.
Interesting because Martin Turnworth was the coin master, I believe. So I guess he's the successor.
They always use bank guilds.
Fair enough.
That's normal.
Okay. But good. Contact. I'm sorry, what was the name again? Thompson? Thomas?
Thompson.
Coin master.
Thompson.
Copper mask. Contact. Shona. Got it. Well, we'll pocket that. Do some digging when we get to Shona. I did share this with Lilith a few days ago, but in Shona.
Well, there is a Hydra we have to kill, right? Like, we need to remember that's our job.
Yeah, I know. Yes, but I just wanted to prepare you all in Shona that she puts quotes around I, was there about 50 years ago, and there might still be people who remember my face.
Maybe you should change it. You have that magic, right? You can look
I
different.
do, but not for long periods of time.
Right, but I mean, while we're in the town of Shona, how long are we planning on staying?
I don't know. If
But
we're poking around.
we should fucking decide that now, before we get there.
All right. So we need to talk to someone by the name of Girano. I don't know how deep in Shona he is. He might even be a good source of information. I don't know. He's a nobleman's son or something or other. About the Hydra itself. Then we need to talk to Coinmaster Thompson.
Okay. Norre speaks up and says, I think the ruling family is named Girano.
Okay, well, who else besides the ruling family would know information about Shona and its history, right?
She shrugs.
The thing is, they might know this face, or someone older in their family might. I don't.
All right. Who is it that we're worried that we might have pissed off? All right. That
I
not
don't know.
we, but previous you. Do you have a name
Um,
so that we can avoid them purposely?
the Hammerleys, they're kind of a disgraced family. I don't even think many of them, if any, are still in Shona, but um,
I see.
that's who I worked for. I worked for.
Sounds like a dwarven name.
Was, yeah. They had a big scandal, murder cover up or something like that. When it was all revealed that everything went to shit for them.
Wow. All right. That might work out to our favor, actually, if these are the ones that you crossed and they're already on the shit list.
Don't know if
Maybe
I crossed them. I know I worked with them. I know some people died. I don't
some people
remember.
die? Who? I'm getting a headache.
Yeah, it's not really that important. I just don't. What I'm trying to say is I don't know what the reception of my physical appearance will bring us in
Like,
Shona. I don't
like
know if
he
it'll be good
said,
or bad.
maybe take a modest disguise. A simple one.
Modest.
You know, one that looks mostly like you, but different enough that you won't be confused.
Okay.
You don't
Okay.
have to
That sounds
go
better.
over the top and change everything about yourself.
Just make like a really big nose.
I realize subtlety is not your strong suit.
Word.
Am I wrong?
I don't want to talk about it.
I've been
Right.
traveling with you for what? Not even that long, and I can tell.
Ugh. Okay, sure. I'll work on my illusory magic or something to make sure that I have something in my pocket to change my appearance.
Do we
I can
need
do that.
do we need to like to buy something? Like a hat of disguise?
That's not a bad idea.
I
That's at will, isn't it? Like I don't have to. It's not charges.
I don't know. Like Lilith was like looking around the
Can
room like,
Lorna think about it?
yeah, or go ahead and roll an arcana. As like Lilith's like, I don't know anything about this shit.
Yeah,
I've just
she was more
heard of
speaking
this.
out loud to herself. I rolled terrible 10.
Hat of disguise, it's a simple magic item. They're fairly common as far as magical items go. So you're pretty sure if there is a magical trader or merchant in town, they probably have one.
Do I have any idea if it's attunement or not? Because if it is, I can't use it because I'm full up.
With a 10, you don't know.
All right, I'll have to look into it. I will say above the table, if I manage to gain a level in Warlock in that time, one of my invocations will be Mask of Many Faces, and then that will solve that problem.
You are on milestone leveling up, so you have to
Yes, if I
accomplish
manage
something.
to, yeah, I accomplish things all the time.
Mm-hmm.
um, right. So just that's my plan. If you know, it all
Look,
pans out.
if it is an item that requires attunement or whatever, you can always, maybe take a hit to the old ego and drop something else for the
They're all important.
like
They're
what?
all crucial. She'll pull up her amulet. This protects me from the master.
Right, so obviously that can't go. What else?
And then my mage's compendium that I won in the fall
Right,
festival,
so
which gives me +1 to my spell DC and my attack rolls.
mechanically, I understand why that will be important to you, but maybe while we're in the actual town, you can still just use it as a spell book and drop attunement.
Well, okay, and the other thing I have that I'm attuned to is my staff of replenishment, which gives me I think it's up to a 5th level spell slot. So that's probably the one. Anyways, there is something else I wanted to talk about besides the master and Shona.
Oh, can't wait for this.
Uh, and it's the reason why I know you heard me down there. I said that we were staying for a few more days than initially planned.
I was about to ask.
Yeah, something came up when I was doing some research. I needed some information that was beyond the books I had. And my new patron offered me that information for a favor.
What kind of favor?
Someone who ended up on his shit list is rolling into town in 4 days. And my patron would like his soul dedicated to him for the slight.
So he wants us to kill someone for him.
He wants me to. There's no reason you need to get involved, but I would like advice on how to perform this duty.
Skolna, like, twirls a dagger between her fingertips and she says, "What do you know about him?"
She pulls out her own notebook so she can page through where she wrote it down when he spoke to her. His name is Martin Solis. He's a human, blonde hair, graying on the edges, so probably a little bit older. He's coming in on the Silver Express in approximately 4 days in the evening.
What do you know about him?
He killed someone who was much like me to my patron, and it has to die because of it. That's it. That's all I know.
We need to know how strong he is, what he can do.
Yeah.
If he's a marshal, if he's a caster, if he's...
I can probably ask my patron if anyone knows anything.
Skolna, like, blinks and
It's
says, "What is that? I don't even know how you would do that."
1 second. Iker? She just holds up a finger and, like, kind of shuts her eyes.
Yes? You have my
We're putting
attention.
together the plan for Martin Solis.
Mm-hmm.
What is he capable of, if you know? So we can plan accordingly.
I know he slayed my patronee with magic.
With magic. She'll say that out loud. He's someone I would need the whole group to take down. Is he that powerful?
Could be. If you don't have the jump. The element of surprise might be your key to success.
That's the plan. Does he have any vices that I could exploit?
I don't know.
Okay. Anything else about him as a person?
There is a pause. And then Vicar says, "Unfortunately, he wears an amulet of protection like yours."
I see. That does help, even if it also hinders. That information helps, thank you. She'll open her eyes and look back at Skolna. He's capable of magic and he wears an amulet like mine, so he's kind of hard to dig into. I will say, I've only ever performed one assassination before this, and I lured that person to a private location with... Lorna kind of hem-haws on her word choice and then says, romantic persuasion. Do you think that would be worth a try again?
Skolna considers it for a moment. It's risky. He might not be interested. You're gambling on emotions.
Yeah, well, I mean, it worked the first time. But that was a person coming in from the sea, so it was pretty easy to bank on the fact that he'd be easily persuaded that way.
Mm.
But this is a tram, and I'm pretty sure he's not high and dry in such the same way.
So we know he does magic.
Yes.
And
I don't know if that's his full asset or if he's more of a half and a half marshal.
Well, if he wears an amulet like yours, it's likely he feels vulnerable to detection.
Mm-hmm.
That suggests fragility.
So, like me.
She shrugs and nods.
So, a sorcerer, a wizard, something
Whether,
wholly reliant on magic.
if he isn't, I'd be surprised. If we can get control of his hands. Can't cast magic.
And his mouth.
That can help. Do you have any magic that makes things silent?
She starts paging through her book. I don't know silence. I'm gonna be so mad. The book. Sleep. That might help.
Right. Tierra is like smirking.
What's so funny?
I can cast silence. Is that a thing you honestly don't know?
Listen, I know a lot of other spells.
That's right.
I know blindness. Does that help? In
Skolna
this situation.
tilts her head and she says, deafness helps.
I do have deafness. What would that do? I mean, maybe stop him from knowing we're coming for him.
You're a wizard.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't hear what you're saying, casting spells gets hard.
I've never been deafened before. I didn't actually really think about it, but now that you say that, that makes sense.
Mechanically, deafness gives you a hard time to cast spells.
I didn't know that. Thank you, Skola.
I was trained to kill people.
Yes, which is actually my patron recommended I ask you how to go about this.
It's nice to be wanted.
Yeah.
The long
I didn't
answer
want to.
is the short answer, and that is poison.
Do you think if we get like one good hit on him,
The right
a
poison.
really good hit, that'd probably be very expensive though.
She kind of tilts her head. How much is it worth to you? A dose of purple worm poison is 500 gold.
I don't have that. I don't have that much money.
A dose of wyvern poison is maybe 75 gold. It's just one dose.
Yeah, that's about all I have. It would help. It could bring them down low enough that I could put them to sleep and then we can finish them off.
If I hit the right place, that won't matter.
I didn't want to ask you to do the job for me.
She furrows her brow and looks at you. Why?
Because it's not your responsibility. I signed up for this. And I don't want to make you kill people if you don't have to.
I never want to kill anyone.
I know.
But this is the job. We're a team.
Yeah. Yeah. And I need help. Okay. So, tell me if this is stupid, and I know you will. We see this person in the tram station when it arrives, and we just nail him, and then leave.
The shock value might be wise. You can really stun a crowd into silence if it happens that quickly. But that's the gamble, that we can do it in basically just one or two blows.
Yeah, the reason I would want to do that is it kind of negates any fuck-ups that I can have if I try to interact with this person to get them to a quieter place.
Do we have any means of invisibility?
She continues paging through her book. Why don't I ever take useful spells, Echo?
I don't
know. Dispel magic, counterspell, blink, sort of invisible.
Invisibility is a second level spell.
Blur. No, but I could get a spell scroll and learn it.
That might be wise. It might be a good idea to have.
We have 4 days, so...
That's plenty of time. All right. Here's what I think, because I like the idea. I like the idea of just shocking everyone. The guy's
He just
dead and
drops.
falling.
There's nothing to connect us to him. We just move on with our lives.
Right, so here's what you do. Whoever it is that's doing the task, let's say, for argument's sake, it's Skulner, because it probably will be. You make Skulner invisible. The tram comes in. He steps off the tram. We confirm it's the right fella. Skulner goes up, invisible, gank. The guy, if in the worst case scenario, the guy does not die in that one strike. If that is the case, Skulner's revealed herself. But it's happened so quick, even the guards that are over by the turnstiles, they can't handle the fact that someone's just been shanked in the middle of a very busy tram station. So, here's what we do. Firstly, you cast invisibility on Skulner again. So that's like she appeared, stabbed, and is gone.
Yes.
You prepare. You be ready for that. If he's still alive, well, that's where we get a little bit more creative. I can cast silence. I cast silence the instant that stab happens. You don't have to be like, she doesn't have to hear you to turn silent, does she?
To
Or to
turn
turn
invisible.
invisible. Right. She doesn't have to hear
No,
you.
I have to be able to speak.
Well, right, I wouldn't put it on you.
Right, exactly. So, if she's in the silence, that doesn't matter. I can cast a spell into silence, but spells can't be cast out of it.
That's great. Okay. Perfect. Here's what we do then. We have acquired, at this point, a hat of disguise. Big old boy Anscombe over there doesn't look like Anscombe. He looks like someone else. A lackey. Something, not important. But we do all know how quite voracious Anscombe can be with that big old sword of his. So,
Yes, we do.
the silence is down. Anscombe, not Anscombe, walks up. Whack. There's no way, after getting ganked by a poison dagger, this little mage, whatever he is still standing. But if he is, there's no way he's still standing after Anscombe gives him a couple good whacks. All right? In that moment, the man falls, for sure. That is when you commend the soul away or whatever. We all walk away as if it never happened, and Anscombe, maybe he steps onto the tram and takes the hat off. Just in that moment where it's not him, No one knows exactly who he is. He steps on the tram, goes out the other side, clean as a whistle.
And his sword disappears.
That's what I'm counting on, right? Like, he's got no weapon. So no one's going to assume it was him.
She's like nodding and like, this sounds pretty good, but she'll look at Anscombe now and be like, are you okay with that? I don't want to.
The quarry killed somebody, and they need to die for it. And it's for you, so I've done a lot worse things for less.
Okay.
And frankly, I hate to admit this, but Tier's plan sounds pretty solid.
You hate to admit it?
I don't like admitting Tier's right.
Why is that?
I don't know, he gets obnoxious.
Oh, his head gets bigger. Yeah, I know.
I'm right here!
So, okay. It's a brilliant plan here. So that means we have to account for wyvern poison, an invisibility scroll,
And a hat of disguise.
and the means of copying it, and a hat of disguise.
Well, you're a wizard, you can copy it, can't you?
I can, but it costs money to do that.
Well, how much do you need?
Does Lorna know how much a second level spell scroll would cost?
Yeah. Typically,
How much?
so it's like 75 gold.
Oh my god, that's too much.
You
hold on.
do
And then I
write your own scrolls, don't you? Maybe you could make a trade.
That's true. But then I need to the money to copy a spell to trade for.
It costs you money to write a scroll,
Does it?
not of
I'm
your
asking
own
Echo.
spells.
Oh,
You just
Yeah.
need the materials.
well, that's what I mean. It costs the material value.
To inscribe, so the big problem with copying your own spells to spell scrolls is time. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it requires
Oh, we have 4 days.
it requires 10 gold's worth of parchment and ink, and then
Uh-huh.
the amount of time is based on the level of the spell. And also the type of spell. So if you, as a transmutation wizard, are copying a transmutation spell, you can do it in half the time.
In half, yes. But this invisibility is my own spells I can transcribe in half the time because they're all transmutation spells. But invisibility is a second level spell, so it'll take 4 hours and 100 gold pieces to copy into my spell book without purchasing. That's
Right.
not even including purchasing it. So, okay. So Lorna looks at Tyr and she says, it'll cost me 10 gold pieces in materials to copy one of my spells, let's say 3rd level, and then I trade it for an invisibility scroll, which is worth less in sheer amount of ability and power to cast.
Right. But also,
And
you get
then
some
it'll
gold,
cost
wouldn't
me
you?
100, hopefully. And
If you're
then
selling
it'll
the
cost me
scroll.
100 gold pieces. Maybe I'll make a couple as an investment.
We have
And then,
days of time, right?
yes. So Lorna is going to, she'll make, I have to assume that they want this spell. It's a good spell, damn it.
Well, that's not
If
how
she,
it works.
what?
You write the scroll that you write the spells, right? And then you go to the merchant and you say, I have these spells. Will you buy them from me?
Right. I'm
And if
hoping that
it's-
they want them.
If it's a trader, they say yes, because they trade in everything.
Right. And
You
it's
just have
new,
to find-
cool spells that nobody's ever seen before. Mostly.
Oh, you're right. It's going to be your spell, is it?
Of course it is.
All right. I don't know what I expected.
So
I thought
okay.
maybe, Fireball, which is a very well-known and popular spell.
I actually didn't put that in my spell book, but I definitely learned that from Modi. Correct?
But yeah, she taught it to you, so
Okay, then I'm adding Fireball to my spell list.
please do that when it happens next time.
Yeah, totally. I know stuff. Okay, it's in there. So Lorna looks at her group and she says, "Okay, I'm gonna make like 5 scrolls of Guys of the Golem. It'll cost me 50 gold pieces, but the return should be fast. And then we could
Well,
probably afford everything."
Well, hold on. You got to keep in mind, how long is it going to take you to make that spell scroll?
An hour. Nope, sorry. Sorry, it's 3 hours. And if I make 5, that's
That's like a
15 hours.
day of just making spell
Yeah,
scrolls.
but we have 4 days. And honestly, I probably shouldn't leave the tavern because there's a bounty on my head.
That's a good point. All right.
Yeah. I mean,
okay,
all of you can
that's fine,
leave,
that's
except
fine.
me and Lilith.
Right. So we'll be your errand boys, right? And he looks at Anscombe and Skolna, and Skolna's like, all right. So me and Anscombe will be your errand boys, right? Like, because I don't
Yeah.
want to get stabbed today.
Mhm.
So
Well, Skull, I imagine you know where to acquire some wyvern poison.
she nods.
So I hope I'll reimburse you when I sell these scrolls. I'll work tonight and tomorrow on these scrolls. Sell them, and then we'll be able to purchase probably at the same place I had of disguise.
Same place. What do you mean, same place?
The same place we sell the scrolls that I make.
Oh. Oh, yeah, that's fine. That makes sense
And
to
then
me.
also a spell scroll of invisibility, because that is the literal whole point of this.
I can also try to help with the scroll
Sure.
making. I've not really had a lot of practice with it, but you
I
did teach
mean,
me what I know.
Yeah, no time like the present to repetition. We'll be making like 5 of them.
Right. It's a little above my head, but I can at least hold the light.
Sounds perfect. So I'll start tonight and finish up probably later tomorrow. And the next day, I sell them all. We get the poison, we get the hat, we get the invisibility scroll, and then we've got 2 more whole days to try to stay alive until he comes on tram.
All right, no problem. So I'll head down to Tinctures. What do you need? Give me a list.
What is tinctures?
Tinctures Magical Supply. You know, it's the component shop.
Oh, yes. She'll give him a list of the things that she needs to accomplish this task.
All right. So, who's coming with me? He looks
Not
around the
me.
room. Nore like sighs and she goes, "All right. I'm worried you'll talk
Um,
us into a hole. I'll come."
oh, and she'll take Sneaquium off of her waist and offer him to Nore. Just back up.
She like looks down at Snakeweum. How does this work? Do I
He'll just rest on your waist, look like a belt. If anyone tries to pickpocket you, he'll bite them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come here, Snakeweum. And Snakeweum like floats there and like looks at you and you hear in your mind, "Is this what you wish?"
Yes, please. Keep them safe while they're out,
Very well.
and bite anyone who stands against them.
Like Nori's about to say, "Doesn't look to have worked," and then Snakeweum winds its way around her waist and she's like, "Oh, doesn't feel like anything.
I know, he's a ghost.
That's really weird. All right,
This is neat.
thanks." And she like tries to pat like the head, and Snakeweum just like rests like with the head looking out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a first. You can count on us. And she and Tierra like leave. Skolna is going like looks around the room at the three of you remaining, and she says, "I don't know if who I know is in town, but if they are, the poison should be no problem."
You know, if that's not the avenue we can go down, we'll figure something else out. But
Yeah, I'll see what I can learn.
thank you.
And she leaves, leaving you,
So it's
Lilith,
me,
and
Lilith,
Anscombe.
and Hanscom.
Lilith,
Um,
like, just pours herself a big mug of ale, and she says, "I could do with a staycation." She takes a drink.
Yeah, I think us being seen outside is not ideal. So
Yeah.
unless we need to, we should stay here or be in disguise.
I can't really do that. Like, I can't do the disguise thing, so...
Unless we have the hand up disguise, which we're getting.
If they have one... There's a lot of ifs. There's so many ifs.
There's a lot of ifs, I know, and this is my problem, and I really appreciate everyone helping me as best they can.
Oh, I mean, I'm just gonna totally take advantage of this. I'm not doing any calisthenics. I'm not working out. I'm relaxing. I'm gonna spend a lot of fucking time in that bath. I'm chilling. And I'm gonna get real fucked up. All of y'all are welcome to join me.
Well, you know me and letting loose.
Right. Okay, maybe a little moderation. You know, not super fucked. Just
You
have a good
do-
time.
You do haze once, and you're known as a drug addict.
It's like the hardest drug, okay?
It was once, and you did it with me.
Uh-huh. And it fucked me up for days.
It was really cool, though.
I mean, wasn't that like the guard's evidence that you...
No. So
Okay.
we gave the evidence back. This is what I took off the drug dealer when Anscombe accidentally killed him.
Oh shit, we don't even know what was in that. It might not have all been haze.
It was probably cut with like fentanyl or something.
Great. Well, it fucked me up for days, so
Yeah, I don't
thanks.
think Anscombe knows that Lorna did haze with Lilith.
Yeah, Anscombe is like sitting there looking between the two of you, and he's like, "Should I even ask?"
You know that drug we took off that dealer?
Yeah.
I did it.
Why?
I was going through some things at the time.
Okay.
Well, and that was I only had 2 doses, so it's not like it's been a problem since.
And you shared it with Lilith?
I was trying to get her to like me.
He like looks over at Lilith and he says, "Did it work?" Lilith's like, I mean, it made me... Well, I was a little impressed. I was a little concerned.
Or
But I mean, how often do you get to try haze for free? I was like, hey, sure, fuck. Alright. I'm a little jealous, to be honest.
You want to do drugs, Anscombe?
No, but I mean, if you have 2 pulls of one, maybe
Well,
maybe I'd give it a shake. You don't know.
you're correct, but the reason that I offered was because I wanted her to like me, and I was fairly certain that you at least tolerated me at the time.
I see. So you didn't need it as a tool to win my approval.
Right.
Okay. Well, I'll remember
But
that
if
the
I,
next time I kill a drug dealer and we find haze on it.
yeah, I'll be happy to do it with you, if you want to.
We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
We'll stick that on our gums when we get to it.
Gross. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm glad you only had the one dose because I hear that shit really messes up your teeth.
Yeah, it kills your teeth, but taste buds too. So great. So you were gonna take a bath, Lilith?
Ah, yeah, I'll leave you two alone. She gets up and leaves the room.
She looks at Anscombe. Was it that obvious?
We were just talking about drugs, and then you suddenly cut it off, like asking her to leave. Yes, that was really obvious.
I actually wanted to tell you something I researched while we were at the Arcanium.
Okay.
I learned
Is this a
some
weird?
more about
Oh, go ahead.
I learned more about Gabriel Frost, if you're interested.
You see Anscombe's demeanor, which was like playful and smirking and stuff, it sobers, and he says, "Yeah, I do."
This is what I learned. And she tells him that he was part of a regiment of more monstrous races, part of the Red Letters, right? Ledgers? Letters? Shit,
Red
I wrote it down.
Ledger.
Yes, part of the Red Ledger. And they defended Black Powder in 5992. They saved it from sorrow-sworn creatures called the Lonelies. And that, it was in selfless defense of other people that he lost his life.
Anscombe is quiet as he hears you explain this. Okay. He, you know, my dad said my uncle was always talking about doing something for the legends, to make a myth, to do the right thing because it would make a story, but in reality, he always did what he thought would help somebody else. I wish I knew him. I wish I'd I wish I remembered him.
He was your uncle?
Yeah. That's what my dad said.
But he passed away in 5992.
Yeah.
And so did you know him before you lost your memories?
No. I'm
Okay.
I wish I remembered the stories. I wish I remembered who.
I'm on the same page as you now. Just wondering how old you were for a second.
Oh, 233.
I mean, to be fair, my longevity is a little questionable, so I understand now.
No. My father's. I mean, you're gonna meet him. You'll know when you meet him. He's pretty old. But he would tell me all these stories about what my family was because I didn't remember them. And while, yeah, my uncle died before I was born, that doesn't mean I saw pictures, photographs, paintings. I know for a fact my dad's side of the family was real orcish. I know that. Wait until you see my dad's tusks. Thank you for looking into that for me.
Promised I would, and I'm sorry it didn't happen sooner.
I mean, there's a time for everything, and I'm not one to put all my sorrows on someone else if I can help it. I realized that kind of bit me in the ass when we first started talking, because I realized that made you think I was closed off and uncaring.
I didn't think that.
You definitely thought I would judge you.
It wasn't so much you as I felt like I should be judged, or anyone would. It only made sense.
I disagree.
Well, you can say that now. For sitting here like this.
Well, I said it then, too. Just not out loud.
At least now I know.
Whatever this mess is, here in Augur City, with this Solace. Solace?
I don't know.
It
Solace.
He crossed the wrong devil. To be fair, I don't really want to cross any devil. From what I've read, that's dangerous. Always.
Yes, I've learned. Gathered.
Yeah.
Yes.
He signed his death warrant, and I'm sure he knows that.
Which is why he's running.
Yeah.
If we do this right, he won't even know what hit him.
That's right, it'll be nice and quick. I'm only there as a, well, if it's necessary.
Yeah. This is mostly related, not to our mission in a couple days, but we're getting closer to Siren's Respite.
Yep.
I thought maybe I should let your dad know that we're thinking of swinging by, and if he's even there, we should probably figure that out, right?
Well, he's probably there. I mean, what else is he gonna do?
I don't know.
Right, you don't know. He's most of the time he just spends his time out on Siren's Lagoon fishing.
Fishing? Yeah.
He says it's very well, he would say it's relaxing. So, you know, you'll see what I mean when you talk to him. He's not a man of many words.
I had a message in mind just to let him know that we were going to, in a few days. I wanted to know if that was okay with you if I sent that message.
I think that's a good idea. Give him a warning. He's not a man that
Okay.
likes surprises.
I'm sure the message itself will be surprising, but at least we won't show up on his porch.
It won't have been his first time receiving one of them. Don't worry.
Okay. I could do it now. I have the spell slots for it.
Oh. Right now?
Yeah. I can tell you what he says.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
I will, she'll cast sending, and I'll send you, I typed it out.
All right. Yeah. You're sending it to. His first name's Bulkrin.
Bulcron.
Bolcren.
Bolcron. Bulcron. Okay. Just a brief description. It helps you visualize.
Real big lower tusks. Always keeps
Does
his
he look like
hair
you?
long. It's gone white by now. Looks a bit like me, yeah. More orky. Um, piercings.
Does he have your eyes?
Yeah. Green.
I, I can see him. Okay, so she'll cast Sending to Bulgrin Frost.
You said that you... Oh.
I just sent it. And it goes as follows. It's exactly 25 words. Hello, Mr. Frost. I'm sending on behalf of Anscombe. Hoping to visit you soon. Are you still in Siren's Respite? You can respond. 25 words. No worries.
Okay. Immediately, you hear... Oh, who's... sure. Oh, I'm on the lake right now, miss. You're with my boy. Sure, that's fine. I, is Danscombe doing... That's what you hear.
Adorable. Lorna listens and then she just kind of laughs a little bit. Uh, he's wondering if you're doing okay. He's on the lake right now.
Yep. That's where he usually is at. He
He
asked if
seems
I was...
surprised.
He asked if I was doing okay.
He said, "How was he do?"
Oh.
I told him he only had 25 words.
On the spot. I imagine it was... You can't... Okay.
I can replenish my third level spell slots and send him another one.
No,
At least,
it's...
I mean, to let him know that how many days until Siren's Respite? Like, say we wait 4 days here. How
Mhm.
many from Augur City do you think it would take? Without any detours.
If we take the river, 4 days.
So approximately 8 days.
Yeah.
I should at least let him know a time frame. I said thinking of visiting soon, like that could mean tomorrow.
All right.
I won't make it complicated. I'll just
And yeah, you can just tell him I'm doing fine. All right. All right, I have returned.
Okay, and I have it.
Awesome. So you replenish your third level spell.
And my second since it's a cumulative 5th
Mhm.
level, so I'll do a third and a second. Hooray! And she sends one more message, and she says, "He's doing well. He's here with me now. An official Marigard mercenary. Should arrive in about 8 days, bar any detours. See you soon. Regards, Lorna."
Okay. The message that comes back seems less surprised. Um, you hear Bulkrin say, "Oh, that's fine news. Thank you, Lorna. I'll have dinner waiting for you."
Aw. She looks at Anscombe. He's going to have dinner waiting for us.
It's gonna be fish.
Well, is it going to be good fish?
Oh, it's gonna be great fish. I just hope you like
Great.
fish.
I If it's good fish, I'll be perfectly happy.
Um, he prides himself on how he cooks his fish, so it might be something a little strange, but it's gonna taste good. I'll say that.
How are you feeling?
Nervous, anxious, uh, many other things that are all concerning. Um,
All concerning?
I haven't seen my dad in over a year. I'm
Me neither.
the last of. Okay.
She's trying to lighten the mood a
Right,
little
but
bit.
yours is real fucked up. Okay.
Right, so how bad could this be?
What if he doesn't like the choices I've made?
Anscombe. I told him you were a Marigard mercenary now, and he was very pleased.
Okay.
He seemed
How
proud.
did you?
You need to learn sending if you want unlornified messages to get to your dad.
That's a little beyond me.
For now.
Maybe I'll use the mail. Look. Thank you for reaching out to him. When I lived there, aside from all the trouble I'd get into, we kind of just lived on, our own little island in the world. We heard about things going on elsewhere from traders and travelers, but it was a small, quiet town, and I just tended to the horses and what little crops we had, and I'd help them gut fish for sale. It was when I was behaving myself. So I know your voice popping into his head. I'm sure he almost fell out of his boat, but I'm really glad to hear that he. Thank you for doing that. I haven't heard
If I'm
him.
ever overstepping my boundaries, please let me know.
No, you did ask first, and I appreciate that. I'm just. I really hope to make him happy. He doesn't deserve all the shit that's happened to him, and I didn't make anything better while I was there, so. You saying that he seemed pleased or happy.
Proud.
Proud. Anscombe wipes an eye.
She'll lean her head on his shoulder.
He's a good dad, and he doesn't deserve me. Or at least what I was.
Well, you just have to show him you've changed.
You're right. I got a great fucking team at my back. Beautiful woman on my arm. And I can do magic now.
You sure can. Speaking of, you're gonna help me with those scrolls, aren't you?
Right. Yeah. We ready right now? No, they have
We
to
can
get
get
back.
started. I mean, I have some supplies on me. I just couldn't do all 5 scrolls.
Right, okay. Just tell me. Well, I know how to start. And sorry, I'm a little flustered.
No, it's adorable.
Shut up. Thanks again.
Of course.
Okay, let's get started.
She'll pull out her supplies and they can get started.
You and Anscombe begin the process of inscribing spell scrolls. You are making Guise of the Golem, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Each one is going to take a number of rolls. As this is a third level spell, it's going to require more rolls. If you recall, the first level spells only required a single roll. But this basically, it's for every hour you're rolling an Arcana check. But you have an advantage because Anscombe is helping you.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he might not be the most experienced of spellcasters, he does know the basics of making a spell. So,
Yes.
go ahead and roll me an Arcana with advantage.
Dirty 20.
Your DC, I can just tell you, is 13 because it is a third level spell scroll.
Hooray!
So you succeed. In the middle of making the spell scroll, Tier and Nore return, and they have a big old bag full of parchment and ink. And as they set it down, Taintress was nice. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Griffin's bag is a nice place to buy stuff, but Taintress, it has the advantage of being in a capital city where they can get all sorts of weird components. I saw an Astral Dreadnought's heart on the wall.
Oh, how big was it?
It was massive. It was as big as, like, I don't know, like you.
Wow. I want to go, but I can't until we get that hat of disguise. She reimburses them for the 50 gold it cost to get the supplies for the scrolls. And, okay, when we finish a couple of these, I might as well do them all at once. We'll get them all done, go out, get the hat of disguise, bring it back, and then I can go out before, maybe stretch my legs.
Right, but we still got to be careful about you being seen outside. So just make sure that you have relinquished one of those items before, Just, I don't want there to be any issue with you disguising out in the open.
I have, the hat of disguise is one thing, but I do have alter self. So I can actually change my appearance for short periods of time, but not after I run out of the spell slot. I can't do it anymore. So the hat of disguise is better.
How long does that last?
About an hour, I believe. Alter self is 1 hour.
Oh, that's plenty of time.
Sure.
All
so
right.
it's not like I'm bound to this tavern. Lilith is, but she's getting shit-faced in the bathtub right now.
That's a good idea.
Can you check and see if she's breathing still?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
I mean, you can. Night's off for you too. Do as you will, but please make sure Lilith is okay.
Right. And Tier just leaves the room. Nore leans against the wall and she says, "You can keep 10 of that gold."
Oh.
I talked her down.
Thank you.
I promised them a lot of repeat business, and they bought it, so...
It's also true, if that's the place we're getting our...
Yeah, I wasn't lying.
Exactly, so thank you very much.
I didn't look for actual equipment, but they have a lot of components, and they have a lot of spell scrolls of their own, and I think I did see invisibility, so...
Fantastic. Okay. We might just be able to pull this off.
Maybe. If we all agree on Tier's plan. I do hate to admit when he's right.
That seems to be a common trait in this team.
If the man isn't so damn obnoxious every time it happens.
Please tell him that. He'll never believe me if I say it.
I have.
Ah.
Doesn't seem to slow him at all.
Yeah.
Wonder where he gets that from.
That's a good question. You have the night off too, of course. Do as you will. Stay safe.
I think maybe I'll try and earn us some coin at the buskin.
Not a bad idea.
You know I like you if I'm willing to busk for you. She goes out the door.
That's true. You know, Anscombe, I commissioned her an instrument that should be delivered sometime, hopefully soon.
When's that happening?
I need to check in with Zurich. Unfortunately, I used all of my sendings tonight.
Well, I
So
mean,
tomorrow I'll check in with him.
we've
But
only been gone
yeah,
about a week, right? Can he make
sure.
an instrument in a week?
I don't. I don't remember what time frame he gave me. I can check in and be like, "We're in Augur City. How's it coming along?" And then he'll tell me, and then I'll know.
This spell seems really useful.
Mine?
Yeah. Sending? This seems like one of the most useful spells I've ever heard of.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe anyone would ever take a spell other than sending.
I can't tell if that's a dig.
No, I'm serious.
Okay.
As soon as I got it, life changing. Honestly.
I'm pretty sure I'm making this glyph wrong. Help.
Okay, I'm ready to roll again.
Yeah, roll another.
Well, I rolled a natural 20, but that was my first roll. Second
So,
roll was less, so 28.
well, it's advantage, so not
Yeah.
disadvantage. Yeah, it continues perfectly. It turns out Anscombe was not making the glyph wrong. He just confused himself because he looked away and then looked back.
Yep.
One more roll, please. And as you are continuing, Skolna steps into the room. I rolled for this, and she says, "Contacts in town. We're good."
Fantastic. Okay. This,
It's just a matter of getting the coin.
yes, and we're working on it as we speak, so we should be done by tomorrow evening.
You got any books? Go.
Lorna digs through her bag of holding, and there are quite a few books in there, but there's one that piques her interest, or rather piques her amusement immediately, and she pulls out memoirs of a goblin concubine.
Okay.
Or I can't remember if that was the name of it. It was memoirs of something.
I think
And
it
she
was
will,
Memoirs of a Goblin Courtesan.
yeah, yeah. And mostly for the lulls of that alone. But she is interested if Skolna does get pretty far into it, if she notices Atlantis Majere in there, and if she
Sure.
puts those pieces together. So she's gonna hand that to Skolna and say, a very fascinating read.
Skolna looks at it and raises an eyebrow and takes it, and she's like, "All right." And she just like kicks her boots off and lays down on your bed and begins to read while you guys are working. And give me the last spell scroll roll for this one.
Gotcha. Okay. 15.
Success. DC's 13.
Hooray!
You complete your first scroll of Lorna's Guise of the Golem. It is a little smudged around the edges, but it looks professional quality. It looks like anybody would have an easy time casting this spell. As you finish it, Anscombe like stretches his back and he says, "Ugh, that's intense.
Mm-hmm.
If you lose your place, it's like you have to start over, but you can't."
Yeah. And we only have 4 more to do.
Only. And as you've pressed into the evening, at one point, Lilith like poked into the room and said something, but neither of you were listening. And then she comes back just now and she says, "Are either of you gonna try the bath?"
Oh, yeah. I guess we did get into a fight today and have done a lot of work. Maybe a bath is a good idea.
Yeah, why don't you all blow off some steam?
Uh, is she implying that we smell?
Yes.
Oh. I was ready to roll an inside check, but if she's being that obvious, that's cool too.
Anscombe looks over at her and he says, "All right, but we're sharing one." And Lilith like looks at between the two of you and she's like, "Gross, I don't care. Just go take a bath."
Lorna, I think she missed a beat for a second. She was like, what? And then it's tomato red. Yep. It's conserving water, I guess.
And as the two of you are persuaded, maybe, to go take a bath, that is where we will stop tonight's session.
But I had another thing I wanted to do. It would take a while, though.
Well, then we will have to handle it next session.
No!
That is how it goes. I'm sorry.
Heck.
I hope you had a good time. Thank you for playing with me tonight. And to those of you who are at work or at home watching, hi Pen, hi class, hi
And
Emily, hi
and
everybody
Class,
else.
and anyone else.
We love you
And
all.
Sam when she eventually catches up.
We love you all. And I wish you a good night.